All right, everyone, welcome. Happy Thursday. My name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today, I am going to be going over campaigns with you guys. So with that, we are going to really focus on email campaigns. I know campaigns covers a few different items, but we're really going to take a look at email campaigns, okay? We're going to take a look at how to create a custom email campaign, as well as how to customize one of the templates available by KWRI. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to log into our command platform. Okay, uh, your command platform should look similar to mine here. It can look a little different. You can customize this home screen just a little bit. So definitely, if you're seeing a few different items on here, than what yours is showing, or if it appears in a different layout, that is okay. Again, you can customize these slightly by using the customize button there, okay? Um, for today's class, the first thing we want to take a look at is going to be our marketing profile, though. To access that, we're going to go into settings, which is to the right of your dropdown or of your name. We're going to go to connect settings and marketing profile. Oh, and looks like we got a major update today, you guys. So our marketing profile has actually moved. So this is brand new. So we'll learn this together. So marketing profile has moved, it looks like, to the website's applet. We'll go ahead and click this hyperlink. All right. So looks like our marketing profile is now under the website's icon. So the reason we want to take a look at this marketing profile is because this information feeds over to some of the marketing that we're going to be creating today. Um, Hopefully that is still the same. It should be, but it will feed over to some of the email design portions. So that's the reason we want to make sure that this profile is up to date, okay? So first things first is you want to make sure your contact information is included. So phone number, office number, if you're using a fax, you'll also want to make sure your email is added. And this website is super important. It is not a required field, but if you are using a specific templates or pulling this into a email design, if you do not have your website here, you may get an error. So definitely plug in as much as you can in your marketing profile, including that website. Moving down, you're going to get to your market center details. This is where you will pull in your market center specific logo, okay? Um, your market center details, okay? We've got our brokerage name, our address, etc. Moving down, we have your photo, okay? So we have your headshot. Now for the headshot, it is recommended to be 360 by 360 pixels. Uh, that will put it into a perfect little square. That's going to make sure that your headshot is not distorted, cropped out, or cropped incorrectly, things like that. So making sure that sizing is correct for this is going to be very important. Now moving down to the team logo. This one can pull into the email designs today, whether you have a team or not. So we do strongly encourage that you have a photo here. Now, if you're not on a team, there are a couple of options. You can add a generic Keller Williams logo. You can also add a photo of yourself here. If you've branded yourself as a solo individual agent, you can also add that here. So a couple of options. Again, also recommended to be the 360 by 360 pixel. Moving down, you're getting to your details. So first and last name, your license number. Again, not required, but very important. And if it's not there, you could see some errors when creating your email campaigns. Your title, your team if you have one, slogan, if you have any designations or credentials. This is another one we see errors with if it's missing on some email designs, okay? Your affiliations, and then of course your bio. Here you'll find your preferences. This is directly for your consumer app and your website. So we're going to skip past this one and move to our legal footer. This is can be pulled into some of your email designs. So if you're an office that has specific compliance, make sure you get those added here, okay? So there is a space for links, photos, as well as compliance text that may need to be included. Moving down, you'll get into your social links. This is another one you can, in some cases, pull these into your email designs. So make sure you have your full URL listed here for the public-facing social account, okay? Referral links, you may or may not see this. I think this will be in everyone's, but you may or may not see team referral links. This is for your branded consumer app. If you're on a team, you'll also have these team referral links. Moving down, force registration, we're going to skip over that one. That one is for your website and also the subdomain. Those are going to also be for your website. So all of the rest of these are going to be for your profile. Again, marketing profile information. Make sure this information is saved because again, it will pull into some of your marketing items. Okay. So from here, you guys, we're going to navigate back to our home screen. Again, fun day for you guys because the marketing profile, I think quite literally just moved before we started class. Um, but anyways, the next thing we want to take a look at, you guys, is we want to head into the designs applet. We want to start creating a custom design to add to our email. I do see a hand is raised. If you have questions, go ahead and drop those in the chat and I'll try to get to them as we go through class. But again, we're going to head into designs. It looks like a paintbrush with a canvas behind it. From here, we're going to go ahead and hit Create Design in the top right corner. And for today's class, again, we're going to focus on email campaigns. So we want to click on the email design. Now, this is one that is going to be very different from the other options here because the templates are specific to sending emails, okay? Once we click email, you'll see that we're given some templates. These are various templates provided by Keller Williams International that you can come in and customize and use, okay? We're going to come back and look at these on our second email design, but before we do that, we're going to hit Create New Template. From here, we can title our email design. As you can see, it shows previous things that I've named it. We'll just go ahead and type July newsletter. This is an internal name. This is only for you to see. So nobody else will see this, okay? This is just internal. In the top banner, you'll also see we have some options to preview the email, to send ourselves a test email, as well as to download the template. You also have save, save and close, and exit. Moving to the next banner, you have some preview options. If you'd like to see what your email will look like on different types of devices, you can take a look at those. There is the desktop, tablet, and mobile versions that you can take a look at. Moving over, we have view components. We have preview. We also have undo and redo, okay? Now moving to the right side of our screen, this is where you're going to start really creating your email design, okay? So there are some layout options, and then you also have your content items, okay? For the layouts, you can use these. You do not have to. You can pull in your layouts though. You're simply dragging and dropping those items onto the design here. Where you see that green line is where that item will be placed, okay? So for example, this divider, if we just go over this individual box, that green line is going to show that it is just putting that divider on top of that one space, okay? So just making sure that you put it where you would like it. If you put one by mistake, you're going to actually click on the outer box and delete that. If you click on just the one item, it's going to give you edit options. If you click on the outer box, it's going to give you delete options. Okay. So for those layout options, we can do one column, two, three, the three, seven, and then the divider. As you can see, the divider has a line in there. We can change the size of that if we'd like to. That will make the line bigger. We can change the width. If we don't want it to fill up the whole screen, you can make it smaller. You can change the color of that. The padding is going to kind of be the border or spacing around the item. So if we were to add padding here, it's going to add spacing in between the column at the top and the divider, okay? You'll see these different items throughout the different pieces that we're going through. So again, that padding is just going to be the spacing it creates above, below, to the right, and to the left, okay? Oops, I needed 500. You can also adjust this the position in some cases. So you'll have all of those features as we go through the design. Take a quick look at the chat. We will not be taking a look at Facebook connections today during this class. For your social URLs, you'll want to visit your page like a consumer would and grab the URL from the search bar. Okay. If I have time at the end, I can find a video to send you for connecting those, but that's not something we'll cover during today's class. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and minimize this layout box. Before we jump into our content items, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this background item. This will allow us to adjust our background for our email, okay? So you can adjust the width of the email, you can adjust the padding around it. Again, that's around the item. You can adjust the background color. If you would like to change the entire background color, that is something you can do. I'm gonna leave it as white, kind of hurts my eyes when I change to different colors. You can also apply an image, okay? So if you have an image you want to add to the entire background of your email, you can do that as well, okay? We're going to go back to blocks though. I'm not going to mess with the background too much today. We're going to go through each of these items and build a custom email campaign. Now, this email campaign is not going to be very pretty. I just want to show you guys the different items that you can pull into these and how to kind of use them. So when you're creating an email design from scratch, just kind of know your purpose, what you're trying to accomplish by sending that, and what is going to be of value with including that, okay? Now, when we get started with these items, I always like to start with the legal header and the legal footer, okay? So again, we're gonna click on those and drag and drop them over, okay? That's going to put that information here. And then we're also gonna grab our footer and pop that at the bottom. Now, I just wanna point out that it looks like these two boxes are missing information. It looks like I need to go in and edit the fields that are in this. This is where that marketing profile that we were taking a look at really comes into play, okay? If we go ahead and hit preview, you'll see that it is actually already plugging in that information. We do not need to edit those fields. You actually cannot edit them within the design itself. In order to edit any of this information, you will have to go directly to that marketing profile to make those changes, okay? So it is pulling in your Market Center logo, your headshot, your client or your agent information. It's also pulling in your Market Center details. This is where that team logo is being pulled from. So that is why if you do not have a team logo, you may send this and the client or consumer will see a broken image if you don't have one included there, okay? So there is no edit. Like I said, you can't edit these fields directly here. You do have to go directly into the marketing profile to make those changes. For these, if you are creating your own custom template, you can make copies of that and edit it. You can also just make edits to the original. So yes, they can be used multiple times. You don't have to keep recreating the entire design all over. Tom, unfortunately, I don't have the answers on the Canva integration currently. We won't really know what that looks like until it's fully implemented and available for us to access and take a look at. Sandra, I just picked a random color. This is not the KW logo color, okay? I just moved my cursor and picked a specific color. So this is not the KW red color. All right, guys, gonna keep kind of moving along. The next thing we want to go ahead and add is we're gonna go ahead and add some text. Now I'm gonna add that below my divider, and we're just gonna go ahead and say hello. Let's say we want to actually use our contact's name, okay? Um, this is where you can use these merge tags, okay? The merge tags are pulling different pieces of information, either from your marketing profile, like these are, or they're going to pull information directly from your command account, okay? So when we click on this drop down, you'll see that we have lots of options. Any of the agent information you are seeing here, team name, designation, bio, all of these are pulling from your marketing profile. If you are missing the website in your marketing profile, if you are missing the fax number in your profile and you try to pull it in, you will most likely see an error, okay? So that's why it becomes very important to make sure whatever you're pulling into these designs, agent license number is in your profile. They're not all required fields, but they will be required if you're trying to use them, okay? Moving down, you'll also see that you have market center details. Those are also going to pull from your marketing profile. Next, you have the agent legal footer. So that's where that kind of comes into play. If that is something you're required to include in your emails, you can pull that in by using this merge tag. And then lastly, we have contact merge tags, okay? These are going to allow us to pull in the contact's name, first or last, email, phone number, anniversary, birthday. It's going to pull that information directly from their contact card as you are sending them an email, okay? So in this case, we're going to say hello and we're going to include the agent or the contact's first name, okay? Now I'm not going to put any other text in this box. We're just going to use this for an example. But I do want to show that you can edit the text, okay? So if you highlight that and change the text, you can select whichever one of these you'd like. I'm not sure if it's copying correctly. Let's try that again. There we go. So as you can see, it's going to change that text. I can also change the size. If I want to make it bold, italic, underlined, if I'd like to change the color. It doesn't have a box, so there's not as many options here for the color. But let's say we want to do blue. You can change the alignment. If you're looking to add numbers, bullet points, etc., you can include links, emojis. All of those can be added. Okay, let's just put a sun. Oh, and it looks like a smiley face. Maybe I clicked the wrong one. Moving down, you can adjust the styling again. That is the width, so the width of that section. You can adjust that padding again. You also have a border option. If we were to turn this on, it's going to put a border around that item. With that, we can change the size of it. So we can make that border thicker if we'd like. You can also adjust that color again. So if that is something you're interested in, you can add that. And then lastly, you have the radius. This is going to curve the corners, okay? So if you want that fully curved, you can adjust that and make it more like a pill shape versus a square, okay? I'm going to turn the border off. Now, I do want to mention, if you are to send yourself a test email, it's not going to plug in your contact name, okay? It's not going to plug in your first name. It's going to show up in your email, hello, contact first name. Okay, the reason for that being when you are sending yourself a test email, it is only giving you the option to add an email address. There is no first, last name, birthday, etc. associated with that email, even if it's in your contacts. It's just simply sending a test email to the email you input. If you want to check that contact first name to make sure it's working, you can hit the preview again. And this time we have a new box up in the top right corner to search for a contact. When we do that, we can see the name plug in as we click through that, okay? So now we have the contact's first name. So we can just check to make sure it's working by using that preview option, okay? if you have updated the information in your marketing profile, you should not see an error. As long as it's in your marketing profile, you'll be good to go. This specific portion does not allow you to add your own fonts. And maybe something down the line that they incorporate, but currently the only fonts available are the ones listed here. All right, guys, moving to our next item. That's all I'm going to include for text. We're keeping it short and simple. The next item we want to include is going to be our image, okay? For this one, I know this is July. We're going to go ahead and use this June newsletter one that I have already in here. Now, I want to point out that these My Images, these are only going to show you images that you have previously uploaded and used in an email design. So these are not pulling directly from your designs in Command. It's not pulling from your computer. It is simply pulling designs you have already created and used, okay, in an email. We can add our own images by uploading them. We can also grab listing images, which we're going to take a look at in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this June newsletter. I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now it's going to put that photo in that space that I had already dragged it into. So now we have that perfect little space there. We can adjust our padding if we don't want that much space. So make this look how you'd like. Now, one thing I do want to show, if we want this red to match the red in our photo, we can do that. So I can click on this line, click my color, and use my dropper. Okay, that dropper is going to allow me to pull in any color from any image. So if you are looking to pull in your KW red or a logo color, a color from your logo, whatever it may be, you can use that dropper for various items. Unfortunately, text doesn't offer that currently. Now with our image, if we click on that, we can add a link. So if when they click on this, we want them to be redirected to a specific site, we can do that. We can link it to a landing page from our site. We can do a merge tag. So if we want to use our agent website, we can simply plug in any random URL that we are looking to redirect them to, okay? And again, that will make it to where when they click on that photo, it will redirect them to that URL. Same as before, we can adjust that width. That makes the image, oh, I keep doing too large, makes it smaller or bigger. We're going to leave it at 100. Padding, position, and then again, the radius. So these you'll see throughout. Now, the next option we have is a button, okay? Pick and choose when you use this. Maybe you want them to register to sign up for something. Maybe you're looking for them to RSVP. Maybe you just want them to click to look at something. You can put a button with a URL. You can adjust what the button says. You can set your link. So if you have a specific landing page or website address that you would like to send them to, we'll just grab this one. You can paste that right there. Now you have some button width options. You can fill the content, which is your text, or you can fill the container, which is the entire width of the email. So you can decide which one you'd like. You can adjust the color. So again, if you're wanting to pull in a color, you can do that. You can adjust your font here, the size. If you want to change the color of the text, you can adjust that as well, okay? Padding, position, border, those are all the same that we've seen previously. Oops, clicking buttons when I don't mean to. So you can adjust all of those items as well. So that will just make it, when they click on this, it will redirect them to whatever page you want them to. If you had a Google form that you wanted them to RSVP, whatever it might be, okay? Moving to our next item. Now we've already done the header and we've already done the footer. So our next item is a listing block. So we're going to go ahead and drag and drop that one over. Now in doing this, you'll see that it has a pre-made box. And now we have an autofill from listing, okay? So we can go ahead and click on that box and we can search for whatever listing we are looking for. You can search by all listings or just your own. You can search by address, MLS number, or KWLS ID, okay? MLS ID is always going to be the fastest and get you to the property the quickest. We'll go ahead and plug in a property here. We're going to search. When I do that, it's going to pull up any of the properties that match, if I could type correctly, that match our address. Mine is the top one that I'm looking for, so we're going to go ahead and hit view. Now you'll see that it is pulling all of the MLS photos, all of the MLS details, everything from the MLS is going to pull directly. I just need to select whatever photo I would like to display in that listing block. It's going to plug in the address, the home price, the bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage. I can go through and make any adjustments if something pulled incorrectly. I can link that. So I do have the URL option. Let's say we wanted that to go directly to the property page on our website. We can go ahead and do that. Maybe pull this up. So I'll just grab this URL from our website and we'll plug that in there. Now, when they click on this in the email, it's going to redirect them to this page on our KW website. Again, your fonts can be adjusted, your font color, if you would like to do that as well, you can adjust that. The padding, again, if that's something that you'd like to adjust, position will adjust as well. And then you do have a layout option for these. You have a vertical option, and you also have the horizontal. Now, I do want to mention if you are using horizontal and they are viewing us on their mobile device, it's going to look vertical. So just definitely make sure you're checking the mobile version just to see what it will look like. In some cases, we do see things shift a little bit, and sometimes you may not like the changes. So you may need to adjust your actual template, okay? And you can add as many of these listing blocks as you'd like, okay? You can add as many as you want. If we want to pull in another property, let's just grab one from the front here. Just grab this one. It's going to pull all the same information, okay? Again, you can adjust any of it. You can add your links, change your text. We want to grab that same color. You can do all of that, okay? Whoops. It didn't pull the square feet. Maybe that's missing from the profile. We'll just add something for now and we'll go done. So now we have all of that. Now our next item is going to be the event block, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and drag that and drop that. Let's see. Some of these questions I'm going to come back to. I just want to make sure we get through everything. And then since some of these questions are a little more detailed, I want to make sure I'm answering them correctly. So if you see me miss a question, I'll come back to it. So our event block, you guys, this is great if you have an open house coming up, if you have a client event, if you have whatever going on that you're inviting people to. Maybe you're just highlighting neighborhood events that are going on, and you want to include those. Whatever it is, the event block is great because it gives you the option to add a photo. It has a place for the date and time. It has a title location as well as a description and a button. Okay, so if you want them to click to learn more, if you want them to click to register or RSVP, whatever it might be, but you do get all of those options. Now with the event block, you can't delete certain items. You can certainly come in and just delete the text if you don't want it to appear, but you can't delete that box itself, okay? You can move it down. That should let you move it down, maybe not. Maybe they've adjusted that, but you can't remove individual pieces from this. So if you're looking to do this without certain items, just create it yourself using the other content items. So we can go ahead and pull in our photo. Let's say we're going to just highlight an open house we have coming up. We're going to hit replace. This time, instead of using my images or adding our own, we're going to take a look at listing images. So this is going to be the same as when we were pulling in the listing blocks. We'll go ahead and grab whichever property we're looking to add. We'll hit replace. It's going to put that photo in that little box. We've got our date and time. Let's say we're doing this July 13th. And we'll just do 1 to 3 p.m. Now you can, again, always adjust your text font. You can add merge tags here if you'd like to, the width, padding, border. Moving down, if we want to go ahead and just do open house. I'm not sure why that's getting smaller. It's opposite. Okay. So now we have our open house. We can add whatever text we'd like. So I'm just going to keep it simple. You could put whatever description or information you'd like to here. And then, of course, we can always link our button as well, okay? I'm just going to grab a random URL, so we're just going to use this one. But let's say you had an open house sign-in sheet or registration, or click here to learn more, whatever it is, and you can change your button and change that color again. So all of those same options, okay? Go ahead and hit done. Now we have our event block, okay? Now the next thing we have that we can pull in is a video. Now these videos do need to be public facing. They need to be on some type of public account. Generally, if you have it on YouTube or Vimeo, you can use it, but you do need a public URL. So we'll just grab our YouTube one here and pull that in, but you'll go ahead and grab your URL and then paste it right there. Now, once you have your URL, you still need to add a thumbnail for the video or picture to the top. So in that case, you just want to hit the replace. You can pull in one that you've already had. If you need to upload one, see if I can find one. I'll just grab this one here. When you upload, you still have to click on the photo and hit replace, okay? But that will put that into that section. You can change the width of that if you want. And again, the same options. So padding, position, and border. And that's it. That's how you add the video. Now, if we go ahead, the next one we have is the market snap. So I'm just going to pull that one in. Now, a market snap is going to give you, as it says, neighborhood trends. It's going to give you some statistics on any neighborhood that you select. Now, these are kind of, they're not very customizable. So if you're looking for your own custom statistics, if you don't like the numbers that are pulling, there's no way to manually edit this. So if that happens, you may just want to create your own image or design and pull it in. But these will allow you to plug in a zip code. I got a couple of random ones here. Once you plug in the zip code, it will allow you to select a specific neighborhood that you'd like to pull. Once you have the neighborhood, you'll see that it starts to pull in those statistics for you. It also adjusts the map for you. You can come in and change this, whatever you want it to say. It will adjust that up top. You can still customize your font for this. If you have one, you can change the color. That's going to adjust just the top and then that part. If you also want to adjust the body of the text, you can do that as well, okay? So all of that, I know that's very hard to read, so let's change it, but just wanted to show you that you can adjust that. So now you can adjust all of it. Same thing, padding, position, border, you can add any of those. But again, if you do not like the information that's pulling to these, this image itself can't be customized. So in this case, you'd want to go ahead and create your own design and then just pull in that image, okay? You could still technically use this map if you want to. You just need to grab a screenshot of it and pull it into your design. All right, let's go ahead and done. Now that is all of our different items for the content, okay? So our email is technically created. We can preview that just to take a closer look at it. Scroll through that. And then we can go ahead and, like I said, send a test email, okay? So let me go ahead and send this. And they have just recently changed where you can send it to any email that you'd like. It used to make you send it to your KW email. So let me go ahead and pull that up so we can take a look at what it looks like when it comes through to our email. So bear with me one moment. All right. Now I have my email pulled up. This is our test email. We can see that everything is pulling. We can click on these. The links should work if I plugged in the correct link. We should be able to click on some of these and it will redirect us. So this is where you can just make sure everything is working, okay? Again, it's not going to pull your contact first name until you actually send it to yourself. So don't worry about that. We can just scroll through this. Now, a couple of things I want to highlight here is that it is always going to come from agent, a bunch of numbers at mailer.kw.com. There is currently no way to adjust that. Any email sent through the command platform will send from this email. However, you can adjust the sender name, so who it shows that it's coming from. You can also adjust the reply email. So if someone were to reply to your email, it can be forwarded to any email that you'd like. And I can take a look at showing you how to adjust that. The other thing I want to show you is that there is no unsubscribe on the test email. However, when this email is sent, it will always have an unsubscribe option. Anytime any email is sent through command, it will have an unsubscribe down here in the bottom corner, okay? When clients unsubscribe, they have two options. They can unsubscribe from this type of email, or they can unsubscribe from all emails that you send. So it will automatically update your system and not allow you to send emails based on that. So you don't have to worry about going in and removing anything or adjusting anything. The system will automatically recognize those, okay? Now for your reply to and sender name, those are adjusted within your settings, okay? So click the drop down by your name and go to settings. Once we're there, you'll see these applications. You're going to scroll down till you get to command email. Hitting that manage button, you'll get to see how many emails you have left this month. You get 5,000 per month with your command. If you need more than 5,000, you can upgrade your subscription. And then below that, you'll have your email configuration. So what do you want the sender name to be and appear when those are sent? And what email do you want any replies to go to? Okay, so you can adjust any of that and then hit the save. And that is how you adjust that. Okay, now let's go ahead and send this email through an email campaign. Okay, so we created our design. Now we want to actually send it out. So we're going to come into campaigns for that. We'll briefly take a look at the email dashboard. Close these. Your email dashboard will look something like this. You'll be able to see how many emails you've sent in the last 30 days. You can adjust that if you'd like to see a different time frame. You can see recipients, opens, and clicks. You can search for emails, sort them based on the status. So if they've been mailed, archived, etc. You can search them based on the goal that you've set for that specific email, the channel, so MailChimp or Command Mail. We're only covering Command Mail today. And then you can also click and adjust your email list. Now we're going to come right back to the email list. Down below, you have your overview. You have the name of your email campaign. Again, this is internal. You're the only one who sees this name. You'll see the status. Has it been mailed? Is it processing? Is it in draft, etc. You'll see the date, how many cents, opens, clicks, the goal that you set for that specific email. And then to the right, you have three little dots. These will be a little different depending on if it is mailed or not. If it is mailed, you have duplicate or archive. If it is not in duplicate or archive, you should see reschedule as well, unless it's in cancel or if it's already processing, okay? So otherwise you'll have three options: edit, duplicate, and archive. If you were to click into one of these, you can see who it's been sent to, who it was delivered, who actually received it in their inbox, who has actually opened the email, if they've clicked on something in your email. If they unsubscribed, if it simply was not sent because maybe their provider blocked the email, maybe it was flagged as spam, etc., it may fall here. And then lastly, if they didn't open it, they just maybe archived it or deleted it in their inbox. So this will give you valuable details as to if your emails are valuable, if people are checking them out, etc. Okay? Now, before we create our email campaign, we just want to adjust our email list, okay? So this is needed in order to send a campaign, okay? You need to identify the group of people or the people that you'd like to send this email to. We'll go ahead and hit create. I'm just going to do 710 class. And then we're going to look for a tag, okay? We're going to come down, whoops. I'm going to look for a specific tag. Usually tags are a great way to identify people in your database. So we're going to send this email to all of these people. Now, if there was more, I could load until everyone is loaded and then hit select all. But we're just going to go ahead and select those 4 contacts and confirm. Now we have our new contact email list. Now, if I were to add people to my database with that same tag, it will not automatically update my email list. So I will need to come in and manually edit that each time I add new contacts with that specific tag, okay? All right, so our email design is created. Our email list is ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and hit create campaign now. And we're going to do email campaign. I'm just gonna name this July newsletter 710. And for this one, since we're not focusing on one specific item, it's just a newsletter, we're just going to set this as other. We're doing command mail and we're going to hit create. Now from here, we get to actually create the email campaign that's going to go out to our contacts. Again, campaign name is internal for us only. The account, that's pulling from that settings that we took a look at. Recipient list, this is where we're going to find the email list that we've created. Send from name and reply to, that is going to redirect us back to the settings to adjust that where we were before if you're looking to make changes. Your subject, this is what the contact will see when they get this email in their inbox. So whatever subject, catchy phrase, etc. you'd like to put, you can go ahead and add that here. And then we can hit select design. This is where we can go ahead and come in and select our new, our email design. And I don't think this was the one I created. That one's not either. It's not pulling mine. So it should be pulling my design right up top. It should be the first one appearing. I'm not sure why it's not pulling right now. That's okay. We'll pretend that it's showing here. I want to make sure we keep going. So we'll go ahead and use this July one, but generally we want to pull in the one that we created. And then this will, actually, let me not use this one either. Sorry guys, 1 minute. Let's go ahead and use this one. This one was from a class we created, so it'll look more similar to what we're going over today. So we'll go ahead and use this one. Let's save and close. It's going to allow us to make additional edits. So when we were in there, we could have edited anything that maybe got missed. We can then see a preview of our email over here on the right-hand side. Once we have our email design pulled in, we're happy with this, we're ready to go. We can either save the draft, schedule this to send at a specific date or time, or we can go ahead and send it right now to the contacts that we've put in our email list. We also still have the preview or send test email if we need to just double check anything. I'm going to go ahead and hit save draft though, because I don't want to actually send this out. But now we will have our draft right here. Once we actually send this, your status is going to show processing for about 24 hours, okay? So even if the email has sent to your contacts, it's going to show processing for about 24 hours. Once 24 hours has passed, you should start to see some of the details over here on the right-hand side with the activity that's happened on that, okay? But it will show processing for about 24 hours. Take a quick look at the chat. We will come back to this. Let me show the template really fast and then we'll go through any questions. The template won't take long at all. And then we can go through any of those questions you guys have. All right, so for the template, we're gonna go back to designs, okay? And this time when we hit create design, we're gonna still hit email. But now we're gonna find a template that we'd like to use. So they have holiday one, they have for sale, just listed, etc. So there's lots. Work with buyer, or work with me, buyer, etc. Let's go ahead and take a look at the just listed. We'll go ahead and click that one and hit next. Now you'll see this one's already pretty much created for us, okay? So it has a lot of that information. Now this is why sometimes these templates, you may get an error if you're not paying attention to what is being pulled. So if your designation's not in that marketing profile and you're trying to use this template, you may get that error. All right, but let's go ahead and update this. So we're gonna leave the just listed alone. Let's go ahead and pull in a photo. To make it very simple today, I'm just gonna use this one right here. We're gonna go ahead and grab this top photo. Now, the difference in doing it this way versus the way we were doing it previously, we're going to have to pull in that information each time. We're also going to have to come in and type some of this. So it's not pulling all of this detail directly from the MLS, okay? I don't remember what property this was, so I'm not going to edit this, but just keep in mind you will need to edit the address, the bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and price, okay? It's not going to pull those details from the MLS. Same for your description or anything you'd like to put here. It's not going to pull it from the MLS because we're not directly pulling the MLS information in. So you'll want to also edit that. If you want to add the button to link it to your website or to any page, you can go ahead and adjust that here, add your URL. You can also delete this. Maybe you don't want it. You can still delete any information from this that you might want to, okay? So just because it's a template, you can still customize these. We could go ahead and pull in our other photos. This is also, you have to pull these in every single time. So I have to come and click each of them to pull in those photos. I have to find the listing every time. Of course, it's not pulling this time. Hold on. There it is. All right, so now we've got our photos pulled in. The rest of this is going to pull all of these with the asterisk. Those are the marketing profile it's pulling. So if we were to preview this, again, it's pulling in all those details. So we can scroll down, make sure everything is pulling in and looks correct. And then we can go ahead and save and close. So once you've edited everything, you're good to go. You can then go ahead and add this one to an email campaign if you'd like. It should pull. Let's see if this will work this time. Let's do advertise listing. I just want to see if that design is pulling. Yeah, see, I don't know why my other one is not. There we go. And close. We've got our design, and then we can go ahead and schedule same as the other one, okay? All right, you guys, those are our two different designs that I want to cover with you guys, email campaigns. So I'm going to stop record so we can go through all of these questions that were in the chat. I know there's a lot. If you have additional questions, go ahead and drop those in. We have about 9 minutes to go through those. If you don't have questions, feel free to hop off. That is fine too. And we'll see you next time. So.